Blessed ones of the nations of the world. One more time, thus is your brother Dan Moses or say Yao Sakodie of TRC, Ghana. Coming to you with the continuation of our exposés, Testimony, New World, Disorder. But before we begin, we want to welcome each other by saying Akwaba, Allen, Sahalen, Shagitam, welcome, Nganjoni, Benvindo, you are welcome, Kupso, Diwo, to San Senyon, Okukulaba, Mauya, Bengalaba, Boye, Malamu, Karebu, Ekabo, no, oh, San de Zua, Enquangehena, Mitash, Duburo, Pezaluvat, Bine I Vinit, Barigalus, Vita Iche, Ayubon, Dobridoya, Velkommen, Estan, Hozut, Walan Aduman, bienvenido, Namaste, Swagetan, Kush, Abadid, Baruch, Haba, Marhaba, Wanyong Haminida, Wanying Nyejeko, Anyamime Nyejeko, Wezolo, Novio, Mia Wezo, Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder. Testimony New World Disorder, as we know, is the program through which we get to know what is happening to Ghana, America, humanity, and the nations of the world in these times of global deception, delusion, and willful lies that are made up by some of the very people that we trust to be there for humanity and the nations of the world, and yet have chosen for almost 2 decades now to deal with us by willful lies, deception, and delusion, having brought humanity and the nations of the world to this total global helplessness. But we know that the center of the global evil pursuit is Ghana and America. And not only that, but the ulterior agenda being pursued against the human race, for which we are seeing all that we have seen for on the nations of the world for the past, for almost 2 decades now. The agenda is an agenda to take over your soul, my soul, the souls of every single individual of the nations of the world, Ghanaians, all of us. And all that we are seeing for almost 2 decades now, they are just the blowing winds of their ulterior agenda that we haven't seen anything yet. Therefore, it is time for you to make up your mind as to whether you would let the soul takers, the evil geniuses, to take over your soul and lead you to damnation in hell after life here on earth, or you will yield your soul over to the owner of your soul, the creator of the universe, that after life here on earth you would enjoy in glory and in eternity with him, or you let the soul takers take over your soul. No, that's not good. That is why, as for me and my 2 tortured and abducted children, Grace Ohima Sakodie and Elizabeth Sakodie, as for me and my family is in Ghana, we shall serve the Lord. Christ Jesus is my Lord, and I want to gladly commend him to you. Blessed ones, Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder. We are most grateful to God that by this same program we as well get to receive some divine guide, divine direction, divine insight that we might know exactly what to do. So Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder. This expose is coming to us on Friday the 30th of September 2022, and it's being recorded on the night of September 29th, Thursday 2022. So Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder. This is going to be expose part 181, which would let us understand the bizarre, the ugly, the reality of the situation of the world. And then the final part shall be what to do. So Akwaba to the program Testimony New World Disorder, and Akwaba to the reality of the situation of the world. Blessed ones of the nations of the world. So we have gotten it clear that the most wicked man on earth, the most dangerous terrorist on earth, Nana Addo Akufo, and his tribalist government, together with wicked minds in America, wicked powers, forces in America, who have worshipped this undercover agent for almost 2 decades now, took their hatred and their evils for me to the extent of medically terrorizing my father Nana Edubofo Jan and killed him through medical terrorism on the 27th of September 2019. And afterwards, in order for the politicized and tribalized national security of Ghana, which has been infiltrated by evil and wicked minds, decided that in order for them to justify, to cover up the almost 2 decades of medical terrorism that this dangerous undercover agent with Montgomery County Police, against everything that is called law, have committed against me as and when they please. Fully armed police, bomb-wearing police, they decide to commit medical terrorism against me as and when for almost 2 decades. The politicized national security of Ghana, the tribalist of Ghana, decided that let them take advantage of the helpless situation of the son of Nana Edubofo Jan, my father, the father of Nana Kojo Edu. Let them take advantage of the helpless situation of Nana Kojo Edu, his situation as a victim of criminal negligence. Let them take advantage of it and unleash 3 years of intense medical terrorism against Nana Kojo Edu, to make up a willful lie, to create a false impression to the powers that be in America that we have a cause to justify, to endorse, to approve the years of medical terrorism against this African, based on the total nonsense and lies that Nana Kojo Edu inherited, was born with a mental health challenge. Therefore, the African's family has a heritable mental health challenge. So, the medical terrorism that we have committed against him for all these years, we would continue taking the money and the bribe money, and you will get away with it. So, in pursuit of the total wickedness and evil, to justify the crimes of the US undercover agent, medical terrorism, they decided to unleash unthinkable medical terrorism against Nana Kojo Edu, an able person who was at his father's funeral, shedding tears. Me papa ewu, me papa helplessly. 3 years between 2020 February, 2020 February till this year, 2022, when he was crying helplessly, they have been able to cut short his life. So wickedly, to the point that he was alive, but his body was rendered bedridden and his body was rotten while he was still alive. Humanity and the nations of the world, Akwaba to the program, testimony, New World Disorder. This should tell you the level of wickedness of Nana Addo Akufo Addo, the tribalists and their wicked counterparts in America. Akwaba to the program, testimony, New World Disorder. But humanity and the nations of the world, we are comforted, we are not moved. In a sense that, irrespective of what Nana Addo Akufo and his administration, willful crime covering government, and the evil man at the White House, Joe Biden, and this administration, the powers that have been troubling humanity in America, that are hiding America for almost 2 decades now, no matter what they do. The conclusion of this whole matter is no justice, no peace, for all men are created equal. Therefore, let Nana Addo Akufo and his government make up every nonsense evidence, false evidence, and for willful crime backed by the US government bribe money. The conclusion of the whole matter is it all amounts to nonsense. We have made it clear to the United Nations that as far back as 2018, that terrorism is not the internal affair of any nation. Terrorism is a global issue, and it's no challenge of any single nation to be addressed locally as any nation's internal issue. And we are dealing with an issue worse than terrorism, having been committed by the greatest terrorist. And we have also made it clear in this month of September, on September 23rd, 2020, to reiterate to the UN General Assembly that no matter which investigative report from Ghana, from the Joe Biden, we will not accept it because it is culminated in the US government bribe money and it's based on false evidence. We will not accept it. So the matter is concluded. No justice, no peace. Akwaba to the program, testimony new. I have to tell you this because that you get calm. Don't worry about the exceptional wickedness that has been visited on me and continue to be visited on me since my coming to Ghana by the government of tribalists and by the New World Order of the White House. And don't panic that the exceptional stupidity by which Joe Biden is driving his nation into, is leading his nation, it looks as if the whole world shall enter into a nuclear war any moment from now. Don't panic. You know why? Let me tell you this. America knows. The United Nations knows. Nana Addo Akufo, the evil genius, he knows that. We made it clear to Barack Obama at the White House that the problem that has been created for humanity by him, by Joe Biden, by Hillary Clinton, by evil minds in America, and Nana Pesemin Kumina Kumdi Pesie Addo of Ghana. That problem is a problem that borders on the entire human race. Therefore, the security of Israel is at stake. The security of Palestine at stake. The entire Muslims of the world are at stake. Christians of the world are at stake. Judaists, we are all at stake. Therefore, we made it clear to Barack Obama that because the entire human race are at stake, Obama, you have no right under your own laws or international law to push any nuclear button in this issue. You have no right. Obama sat at the White House while he was being manipulated by the forces. Joe Biden, puppet on the throne, manipulated by Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, and all the establishment. After 8 years, Obama could not push the nuclear button because the Pentagon is not stupid. Did you hear that? In the same way, when the power has been given by God through the African to his friend, His Excellency John Donald Trump, the establishment, the Hillarys, the Joe Biden, the Barack Obama, the cliques have cried out. The power has been given to a temperamental individual, and they must deny him from access to the U.S. nuclear codes. At the White House, God, by this same African, told America, don't panic. Humanity, don't worry. Joe Biden, Barack Obama had no power to push any nuclear code in this issue. And we kicked him out of the White House eventually. Irrespective of how temperamental you think John Donald Trump is, he cannot push any nuclear button in this very issue. As truthful as it was, no matter how temperamental that we took John Donald Trump for, he's out of office and no nuclear button was pushed. In the same way, the African, God by the African, is standing in Ghana, telling the American people, telling humanity and the nations of the world that it is very true that Joe Biden of the White House has been exceptionally stupid. Did you hear that? He has been exceptionally stupid in the handling of this issue that borders on the entire human race. And it looks as if we are already wiped out of the surface of the planet. But the truth is, the Pentagon is fully aware and will not let Joe Biden be stupid to the point of pushing any nuclear code in this issue. Because the reality is, any attempt to do that by Joe Biden means that the entire human race should be wiped out of the planet Earth. Did you hear that? So let them use the diversionary tactics from the heinous crimes committed against Ghana and humanity. Put all the fears out there. The reality is, Joe Biden has no right, has no mandate to push any nuclear button in this very issue. Because this very issue that humanity is faced with was created by Joe Biden and his evil cliques in America. Addo and his tribalists. This issue was created by Barack Obama, the stooge, the Hillary Clintons, the evil genius. You understand? They were behind this issue. And have rendered their entire state powers, the Justice Department, the Treasury Department, the Labor Department, all of them helpless. The Congress, the Senate, and they did as they please, as though there is no law in America. However, amidst all their evils, God still helped America for the sake of humanity. He gave America the opportunity to have a man who was a break away from the establishment of the wicked, from the wicked establishment, the establishment that know no law of America, the establishment that know the Declaration of Independence of America, that do not understand the establishment that have no value for the U.S. Constitution. A man came outside of that establishment, and his name was John Donald Trump, with exceptional understanding into the problem that America was facing, that Ghana humanitarians were facing, that problem. John Donald Trump started solving the problem prudently by tactically establishing an amazing relationship with Vladimir Putin and Russia, with Xi Jinping of China, and with Kim Jong-un of North Korea, to the point that the establishment, the Hillary's, the Joe Biden, the Barack Obamas decided that they must quickly, everything, the evil establishment they have set up, by demonizing nations for generations, is about to come down. In their own, it's about to come down. So they must brand their own president a terrorist. You understand? At a point, John Donald Trump had to invite Kim Jong-un, the president of North Korea, to come walk in the street of New York as a friend, that the American people know that this is a human being. He is not the one that the ill images, the negative that has been painted about for all this one. He is not that person. John Donald Trump did this. John Donald Trump established an amazing relationship between America and Russia and Vladimir Putin, to the point that if John Donald Trump was the one in power now, what is happening between Russia and Ukraine, that is making the whole world live in unthinkable fear of nuclear war. That would never has happened. Did you hear that? The stupid leadership of Joe Biden, which has led to the Russia-Ukraine situation, pushed by the establishment, invisible establishment, and their wicked counterparts in Ghana, that Russia-Ukraine situation that we are seeing today would never happen. Let alone we having the possibility of nuclear war, right before our eyes. Humanity and the nations of the world. Akufo to the program, testimony, New World Disorder. John Donald Trump understood that whenever the establishment have talked about North Korea, and have hyped the Americans, brainwashed them, stamped them on their minds, seeking to get them to hate Putin and to hate Russia, to be anti-Putin, anti-Russia, to be anti-Xi Jinping and anti-China. That was all a propaganda. Because that North Korea that they were referring to is the secret name of this African. That Putin of Russia that we're referring to, Putin was this African, and that Russia was this African. China that they were hitting was all what in reference to this African, his code name. And Xi Jinping, it's also about this African because of this dangerous US undercover agent. Humanity and they say Akufo to the program, testimony, New World Disorder. God gave them a man of exceptional understanding. However, the American people did not understand John Donald Trump. So at a point, the establishment started coming at him from all angles, to the point that he started thinking about, hey, if I don't bow to these forces, probably I will lose my second term presidency. And he had no choice than to yield to the then willful diversionary tactics agenda of COVID-19 fiasco that was being used to divert the attention of humanity from what is happening to us. So he had to yield to the evil forces and decide to bow to them a little. But the reality is, humanity is in a situation where either you stand up for your land and your people against Ghana, hear this, against the wicked in authority, against the evil minds that for almost two decades have been troubling Ghana in secrecy and the nations of the world. Either you stand up against them and resist them to the defense of your nation and your people, or you allow them to destroy your nation. It is either the same thing applies to you in that nation, to America. But the American people didn't understand this. So they allowed the establishment, the Joe Bidens, the Barack Obamas, the Hillary Clintons, the evil forces that have taken seat in America and are perpetrating heinous crimes against Ghana and humanity, to the point of deciding to kill my family members one after the other. My Reverend Dr. David Nabi, they killed him. My John Evans, they killed him in secrecy. My Papa said, they killed him. My Jerry John, they killed him. They killed us diplomats, politicians, religious leaders indiscriminately. Humanity and the nations of the Akufo program, Testimony, New World Disorder. America did not understand John Donald Trump. And when he decided to bow a little to the establishment to protect his seat, God says that, African, withdraw yourself from John Donald Trump, just like you withdrew yourself from Barack Obama. And I did. And that was the end of John. And America, let's get it clear. God has asked me to withdraw from Joe Biden. I will never get back with him. Because what is good for the goose is good for the gander. What applies to Barack Obama? When God's finger wrote, Mene tekel afazin, Barack Obama. Before the 2012 elections, God withdrew from him openly before the White House. And Barack Obama said, I will take the throne by force, anyhow. You know, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. He took the second term. And the consequence, ripple effect, is what we are seeing in Russia, Ukraine, what we are seeing in the medical terrorism, the Malbec, the COVID-19 total bullshit and bullcrap, evil agenda, which fellow human beings must be prosecuted and tried and punished for. You understand? So, humanity and the nations of the world, Joe Biden is no better than John Donald Trump. Because one law, all men are created equal. America, yes. So, we have said, bye-bye Joe, according to the voice of God, to Joe Biden. And now, God is making a way for a man after his own heart, for Ghana and for America, if only we would heed. God bless you. And God bless my homeland. Bye-bye. What to do next?